I'm going to say something that might sting a little. Believe it or not, you do not need another habit, not another morning routine, supplement, planner, or self-improvement project. What if the reason you still feel exhausted isn't because you are missing something? What if it's because your energy is leaking everywhere? I need that to land. Because if I'm being honest, I think this is where you might keep getting stuck. When something feels off, our instinct is to do more because that's what we've been taught. Try harder, fix faster, optimize better. We feel disconnected, so we add a new routine. We feel burned out, so we add self-care. We feel overwhelmed, so we download another planner and promise ourselves this time will be different. And listen, I am not anti-habit. I actually love habits, but I love intentional habits. But somewhere along the way, even wellness became another place of performance, another thing to do, another thing on our plate. And that's the problem. Because now the very thing meant to help you feel better has just become another thing you feel behind on or feel like you are failing at. So let me lovingly call something out. You do not need a perfectly optimized life. You need less leakage. I'm going to say that again. You do not need a more optimized life. You need less leakage. Because you can keep pouring energy into yourself, but if it's leaking all day long, you are still going to feel depleted. Imagine trying to fill a bathtub while the drain is wide open. We've all been there. We've all done that. You can keep pouring water in, more water, more water, more water. But if nothing changes at the source, the tub will never fill. And that is exactly what happens when you keep focusing only on recovery without paying attention to what is actually draining you. And here's the tricky part. Not everything draining you is big. Sometimes the thing costing you the most is the very thing you keep dismissing. The standing obligation, the constant notifications, the weekly commitments you keep telling yourself. If not, it's not that big of a deal. But let me tell you something. Little drains become big drains when they happen every single day. And that matters because not everything drains you loudly or largely. More times than not, it's draining you quietly, slowly, consistently, maybe even silently. You might not even be aware. Until one day you wake up and wonder, why am I so tired all the time? No matter what I do, I am exhausted. And it really, truly, there is nothing wrong with you. But that's where our brain naturally goes. I want to challenge you. What if feeling better has less to do with adding and everything to do with what you finally stop tolerating? That's the shift, my friend. Not perfection, not performance, honesty. Real honesty. What is your life costing you right now? Not just your time, your energy, your peace, your presence, your capacity. Because awareness is powerful, but awareness alone will not change your life. At some point, something has to change. And only you can do that. Not everything has to change. Just something. One leak, one boundary, one shift. That's how capacity starts returning. Not overnight. No. This takes time, but intentionally. And here's the good news. Once you can see the pattern, you get to change the pattern. You are not stuck. There is another way, but it requires ownership. So I want to give you something practical. Again, this has been adapted from my Elevate Your Frequency workbook. And I want you to use it before your next week begins. I call this your weekly energy protection plan. And again, I want you to choose 5 things. First, one energy leak to reduce. All right, where is your energy quietly leaking right now? Be honest. Second, one recovery practice that actually matches your exhaustion. That matters. Mental exhaustion may need silence. Emotional exhaustion may need space to process. Physical exhaustion may need actual rest. Recovery needs to match the drain. And as we've witnessed in the previous video, they are not all the same. Third, one boundary that protects your capacity. What needs a limit? What needs a boundary? Maybe a conversation, a device, a pattern, a person. Fourth, one priority that deserves your best energy. Not everything deserves your peak capacity. So what actually matters most and who and what gets it? Fifth, one protected space on your calendar. This is a non-negotiable. You need breathing room. You need margin, space to not be productive, but to just be a human. And then I want you to ask yourself 5 questions. I'm going to go down through these. Pause this video if you need to. What am I removing before I add anything new? Where do I need fewer inputs? What part of my week needs more breathing room? Which commitment looks small but costs me too much? What would help me enter this week with more ownership? That last one matters because ownership changes everything. When you live reactively, life is happening to you. But when you choose to live intentionally, you start participating in how your life actually feels. And I want to leave you with this. Your life will always reflect what you continue to tolerate. I know that one hits. But hear my heart. This is not about blame. This is about power. Because if you've helped build the patterns that are draining you, you can also help build new ones. That's good news. That means exhaustion is not your identity. Burnout is not your personality. Overfunctioning is not your destiny. There is more available to you than surviving your own life, but it will require honesty. It will require boundaries, and it will require the courage to stop glorifying depletion. The fastest way to feel better is not adding something new. It may be finally protecting what matters. If this month has shown you anything, I hope it's this. Your energy matters, your capacity matters, and you do not need to keep running yourself into the ground to prove your worth. If you're ready to stop living in reaction and start protecting your energy with intention, my Elevate Your Frequency workbook will help you take everything we covered this month and turn it into real life change. Because not everything deserves your energy. And not everything deserves access.